sports reporting. It's a 15-yard penalty. First down. You know nothing about sports.
Nuts prod, not the beats.
You know nothing about
Yeah. I see the red light.
Red light
Hello,
special.
America.
That means
What
we're
up?
live. So America, we got a bevy of topics. We're gonna go from the Washington football team beating the Steelers. We might dabble about some of maybe the only good player from LA. We might dabble in what's a good market for a pro athlete. We got a bevy of topics, man. Which one y'all want to start?
Hey, first I want to say what's up to the subscribers, what's up to the haters.
Yeah.
What's good? What's good?
How are you
How y'all
doing?
feeling?
How are you doing today?
Yeah, we had our first hater.
And it won't be the last.
Nah, bro.
And look, he was letting the expletives fly.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. He didn't need to say all that, but I guess.
I love for him to come on. What was his name? Mark Law. Mark Law, if you listening, bro? Reach out. We love to have you on. Don't hide behind the keyboard.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Hey man, which topic y'all want to start with? The one we were talking about this morning, man?
The Washington Football Club.
Hey, yeah, let's start with the Washington football. Let it be known, America. I was the only one that picked the Washington football team to win. Just saying. I knew the Steelers were due for one, man, because they couldn't sustain that level of play while losing that many players to injury. It was like they started up the hill and went all the way up, man, and then they hit that peak, and then next thing you know, injuries. Okay, then they started winning games by like 5 points, 3 points.
But they ain't had that many players out Monday.
Well, maybe I should say key players, be like White, Dupree had went out.
Look, I'm a Dallas fan. I don't want to hear about nobody's injury. I don't want to hear it.
I'm a Broncos fan. I don't want to hear about nobody's injury except from the 49ers because they're the only people that can match.
Right.
Well, let me ask y'all this: How did the Washington football team win that game?
The defense is nasty, bro.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I give Ron Rivera all the credit. I give Jack Del Rio none. I've seen Jack Del Rio up close. He's vastly overrated. But yeah, that is a sound defense. And they come at you in waves. I mean, I think did they lose Ioannidis this season?
Yep.
I think so. Yeah, a torn pectoral or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they still got Deron Payne. They still got Jonathan Allen. They still got
Montez Sweat,
the overall pick. They got Montez Sweat.
Chase Young.
And then they still got Ryan Kerrigan.
I know, right?
Right.
That's that NASCAR package they can come in against you is just, and then their linebackers are solid. Even the one that knocked out the Red Rifle.
Oh yeah, knocked out Andy Dalton. Bostic.
And the thing about it is like their secondary is nothing to write home about, but their front seven is so good.
Yes,
they are so good that they make the secondary's job easy.
That's what I was gonna say. And a lot of people didn't realize was that somehow the Washington football teams somehow has like the number one pass defense or something like that. And when I heard, I'm like, how is that possible? But B, like you said the other night, you said this front seven about to win the game for them, and I was like, front seven.
See, I'm out of market, so I didn't I couldn't watch the game on TV, so I pulled the game up online, and with like streams be at least 30, 45 seconds slower than
Right.
typical than like cable TV, satellite TV, or whatever. So I got my phone in my hand. I'm sitting here at my desk, got my phone in my hand, and I'm looking up, and I see the Steelers getting ready to start their drive. That's when I start texting. I was like, the front seven is about to win this game. As soon as I hit the arrow to send a text, Bostic got an interception.
Mm.
The writing was on the wall to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, man, the Steelers games that I've seen, it was because, like I said, the injuries. And I'm not going to say. I don't know if I don't know if you can say it was Roethlisberger that won those games for him. But those early games
No.
they had the defense. But
They turned off a lot of people early in the season.
Right. And my thing is, are they really going to be able to do damage throwing the ball as much as they do?
Yes. I don't think so.
They throw the ball more than half, half the times that they run it.
yeah, because I think it's a good point. I think they threw the ball like 50 times, almost 50 times against Washington football team.
Roethlisberger threw the ball 53 times. 53 times to 21 rushes. That's not January football. That's
Well,
go ahead, K-Man. Go ahead, K-Man.
Well, I think one of the problems is they don't have a running back. They haven't had one since Le'Veon left.
That was my
Another
point.
thing that happened is that Mike Munchak left them to come to my Broncos because he wanted to be closer to his family. And Mike Munchak is a really good offensive lineman. How do I know this? Garrett Bowles is playing at a Pro Bowl level and just got a contract extension. And y'all know how much I talk bad about that dude. So they're missing the and what I've learned is the offensive line coach is kind of like the running game coordinator. So their running game isn't there. So that's not January football.
Right.
So they got to drop back. Yes, the receivers are talented, but when you're in the playoffs, you're gonna be seeing good pass rushers, and then the Washington football. Not everybody has what they have. They are a special, unique group.
True.
Yeah.
If they had a decent offense, they would probably remind you of the 07 New York Giants.
right.
Wow. True.
And the front seven, they had 5 passes defense by themselves. The Steelers team had a total of 8. Well, both teams had a total of 8, but Washington's front seven was responsible for 5 of those 8. And Montez Sweat, 3 of those were his.
I know, right? Man.
So this is not about sack. They didn't get a sack in the game. They didn't get not one sack. But for those stands and fans out there that only grade defensive linemen on sacks, here's a lesson to you. Look at things other than sacks. Look at quarterback pressures, quarterback hits, defensive lineman's ability to get his hands up when they know that the ball's coming out quick. How are they in the run game? All of these things go into a defensive lineman.
They're called analytics, people. I know that, but for some of you people, that's a dirty word. But look,
I'm a numbers guy. I'm with you, K-Man. But my thing is, in that one situation, man, it was 4th down, and they threw a pass to a running back. And I'm assuming because Tomlin called that play, or whoever called that play, because they probably knew they couldn't run the ball against Washington's front seven. So the only option was to pass. I think they passed like twice on 4th down, and both of them were incomplete.
Right.
Now, okay, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and I had it wrong earlier. The Steelers only ran the ball 14 times, but it's not like they were terrible. They went into the game knowing that they weren't going to run the ball, knowing that they weren't going to try to run the ball. McFarland, he 4 carries for 15 yards, 3.8 yards a carry. Okay, yeah, it's not great, but it's something. It's something to kind of de-energize that defensive front.
I get what you're saying. Keep them on their heels. Go ahead, K-Man.
Yeah. Offensive linemen, they rather go forward than backward. So they would rather you throwing some run plays in there so they can, at least try to push him. Them trying to backpedal against that front, and plus that offensive line ain't that good. I mean, it's okay, but I mean, you got
Yeah.
20, you got 22, 23, 25, 25. And Kerrigan's like the old man at 31. They coming at you straight downhill.
And kid, man, you said that before, and I thought about when I played football, when I played running back, man, and I heard my offensive line, tell the coach, "Can we do some running plays?" And I'm like, they don't like the pass block. I'm thinking that's a lot easier than run blocking, but
yeah, and that's where I give credit to Jack Del Rio. Kennedy thinks he's overrated, but I give him credit because number one, he knows how to motivate dudes. Dudes will run through a wall for him. He may not be that great of a coach, but he knows how to motivate dudes. And the game plan that they had going into that game was don't necessarily sell out trying to get to Roethlisberger because he's going to get rid of the ball in under 2 seconds, under 3 seconds. Get your hands up.
And that was a good plan.
Get your hands up. Play the passing lane.
I would just go back to my experience from 2014. He had a lineup, and he couldn't motivate them dudes to do nothing. Next year, we get Wade Phillips. That's all I gotta say. Ring.
I'm looking at body. You looking at 1 year. I'm looking at body of work.
Does he a body of work better than Wade? Come on now.
Not as a head coach
or the defensive coordinator.
Well, yeah.
That remains to be seen. We'll see. But look, we're going to stay in the NFC East, and there was a controversial decision that was made by one Doug Peterson. I want to ask y'all: do y'all think he made the right decision by starting Jalen Hurts?
Was it that controversial?
Well, the reason it was controversial because you signed Carson Wentz to a big time deal. He's your number one guy. So if you paying him all that money, shouldn't he be on the field?
Well, if he was doing well or not doing well, if he didn't give Doug Peterson a reason to bench him, then it would be controversial. But dude has been stinking up the joint all season, from week 1 against Washington to now. He's gone downhill. I mean,
I think he got the most picks,
I used this analogy earlier in the season. I can't remember what I was talking about, but it's like somebody cut the brake lines, put the car in neutral, and pushed it down a hill. That's how Carson Wentz has looked. And yes, Doug Peterson did make the right decision. It's got to stop. It's got to stop being about money all the time. This dude sucks. Look, you gave him a contract. He sucks now. Own it. Move on. It'll be cheap. It'll be cheaper. It'll be in your best interest to keep him on as a backup for next season, just because of all that you owe him. But after next season, cut him loose, cut your losses, move on.
That's gonna be a big cap hit. But what you got, K-Man?
They set themselves up for it.
Well, this season for them is just like the New Orleans Saints because of the way the cap is going to be. This is the shot to be super over the cap. So they're going to cut a lot of players, but they're not cutting him because the hit is just going to be massive. But it was the right move to make. It's not. First of all, they're not going anywhere. It is plain and obvious that my pick from the start of the season was wrong. And it looks like it's coming down to the Washington Football Club and the New York Giants to be the winner of that awful division. And the winner probably, I looked at the schedule, the winner of that division is going to probably go 6-10.
I was going to say 79 probably. But
6-10. So it wasn't a bad move. This dude needs to sit down and relook at how this game is played and everything that something's off. Something's off with him. I don't know what it is. And he needs to essentially take a step.
And good point, because when I watch the Eagles play, and I keep watching this guy throwing sharp passes, overthrowing guys, and when he gets sacked or when he in the pocket, he's running around. He looks like he's scared or something. It's like he sees people open but don't want to throw the ball to him. And I'm like, now, is it because of the offensive line has so many injuries and he don't trust these guys?
I mean, let's be for real. A good quarterback, can make an offensive line. If you throw the ball quicker, you make better decisions. You can make your offensive line look good. You can't. He's sitting there. Yes, your receivers aren't that good, but you're sitting back there for 3 seconds trying to look for some deep pass. Take what they give you. He's not doing the little things, and I think that's the reason why they benched him, because he's not doing the little things. He's just trying to go for hero ball.
Well, I kind of feel like he may be a little soft mentally, because if you look at last season, look at his numbers last season. He completed 64% of his passes for just over 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 93 quarterback rating. Those are pretty good numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
Fast forward this year, he's only completing 57% of his passes. He's thrown 15 interceptions already, the most in his career, and only through 12 games. It's mighty funny now, that they take Jalen Hurts in the second round in the offseason, and now your starter comes in looking like trash. Could it be that he's been looking over his shoulder ever since the draft?
That could be,
and that's thrown his game off. A combination of that, a lack of coaching, and injuries on the offensive line, I think have all played a part in it. Now, as far as the injuries on the offensive line go, if Doug Peterson, if you're that good of a coach, you're a Super Bowl winning coach. If you're that good of a coach, if you're really that good of a coach, scheme around that. Scheme up plays to get the ball out quicker.
Good point.
Don't make your quarterback hold the ball for trying to go through 2 and 3 and 4 reads. Why have him take all these drops if you know you can't protect?
Condense the field.
And then run the ball. Philly runs the ball well. They're a good running team, but they refuse to commit to it. So I'm questioning. You know what? I'm questioning Doug Peterson just as much or more than I am Carson Wentz at this point, because there are serious flaws in the coaching right now. There are some serious flaws in the coaching and in the play calling.
I'll give you that, man. I'll give you that one.
He's right. He's still living off of 2017, Doug Peterson. And that long Super Bowl is kind of stale now, bro. We 3 years later. And you haven't sniffed. Your team hasn't sniffed the amount of success that you had that year. Wow. So I can see why there was a report out saying that he may not be guaranteed to come back next season. I question the validity of it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't come back.
I heard that. I heard rumors about that too, man, because I think like the past song, like maybe 3 weeks ago, he was on the hot seat.
Look, man, if I'm Howie Roseman, Eric Bieniemy, he would look real good standing on the sidelines, coaching up Jalen Hurts. I'm just saying.
That would be a pretty.
We putting that Bama everywhere, aren't we?
Right? Yeah.
He's a good coach, man.
We put him everywhere. Like Houston, we gonna put him in the Jets. Now we put him in Philly. Like,
oh, look.
Let's put him in Jacksonville.
Okay, look. I definitely want to get you guys' take on this one. Speaking of the Jets, what kind of play call was that on the last play of the game? You call an all-out blitz and get toasted.
This is the same man that
I only gave with the Saints, huh?
No. I mean, I'm going back to 07, where he put out 10 dudes on defense and didn't tell his head coach, and almost gave up a home run touchdown on the first play because he wanted to honor his player that he lost. Greg Williams is too arrogant. He has always been. He's only been really good as a defensive coordinator in the couple years that he was in Tennessee, the couple of years in Washington, and that's it. Because even the Bounty Gate team, they gave up a lot of points. They just were, a lot of yards. They were just really opportunistic. He's not a good defensive coordinator. It's time. This man should not be in this league anymore. They had a game. They had that game won.
Yeah, they did.
That game over, and he did this. And Adam Gase was right. And now Adam Gase is looking at going at 0-16. And he knows he will never. And now he knows he will never work in this league again. Not even as a quality control person.
I mean, it's indefensible. There's no way you can spin it to make it a positive. Something tells me Greg Williams knew that he would be let go even before this game. Because you just don't. That play call right there was a stretch even for him. Even for him, as overrated as he is,
but and both of you guys are right. He's overrated. He's arrogant. My thing is on a play like that, don't you normally have people standing at the end zone just to make sure something do the Hail Mary something happens? So
either that or you're in cover 3.
Yeah,
cover 3 or cover 4.
That's why I was gonna say cover 4 at least. But
so I mean,
this what made me laugh, man, when I saw it, because the defense they were playing when they were showing the highlights of, I'm like, wait a minute, this is the game. Why nobody's not back? In my mind, I'm like, watch Henry Ruggs run right by this dude, and dang if it didn't happen.
Yeah, and the
play before that, he did something, and he got bailed out, I think, by the refs, and he did it again.
Here's the kicker. The kicker is he was all alone on an island against an undrafted rookie.
Right. With speed to burn.
But I mean, Ruggs being a rookie, also, I get it. But corner is a lot harder position to play in the NFL than wide receiver. So you got a first round talent going up against an undrafted talent with that kind of speed.
But look,
with the game on the line.
And look, B, and to me, this is the thing. It's like when I used to play out in the park and stuff, man. You know, it started getting dark. You know, I was one of the fastest dudes, so I used to say, man, just send me on the fly, and then we going home. Man, Henry Ruggs actually did that joint. He just said, man, look, I'm gonna take this dude. We win the game. We going home.
Yep.
But look, all right, B, look. One more topic on football that I can think of. Me and K-Man was talking early. And I just want to get your 2 cents. K-Man, I'll let B-Wig go first.
Yeah.
They've been talking about this, NFL Man of the Year. So, B, who you think should be Coach of the Year, B?
For me, it would. See, I keep thinking of Mike Tomlin because of the record, but honestly, I don't know. I don't know if I would give it in Andy Reid, maybe.
Well, look, man, my two, of course, Sean Payton and Stefanski.
Yeah, I gotta see how the season ends for the Browns before I go that route, because they concern me. When they almost let the Titans come back.
Mm-hmm. True.
You know, that game could have went totally different
because they was blowing them out that first half.
Yeah, for a drop pass by Humphreys at the 10-yard line in the red zone. You know, I think we're possibly looking at a different outcome on that game. So, you know, they've got some growing to do. They got to learn how to close. But I guess my top 2 would be Mike Tomlin and Andy Reid.
Wow. All right. Who you got, K-Man?
Mine is Andy Reid and Sean Payton. I mean, Mike Thomas out for the missed like what 7 games. Your best offensive weapon, your quarterback, you know, and you're pretty much winning games just running.
Yeah,
because the other
we
because the other
lost the
dude can
tackle
really
too,
throw.
Armstead, one of our best tackles.
Yeah. So it's just like, yeah, I gotta give it to that. And then the Chiefs, they're 11-1.
And look, man, I was watching the media earlier this week, and somebody brought up that in the 2 years, the Saints didn't have Drew Brees starting there 8-0. And I was like, wow. When I think it was on Ryan Clark said, when he said it, I thought about it, I said, wow. I said, is that a testament to Sean Payton coaching?
Mhm.
I'm like, man, that's like nobody would ever thought about that.
Yeah, I mean,
and
you gotta go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, and don't sell the defense short in those 8
Yeah.
games that y'all haven't lost with Breeze out. Every time Breeze goes down, your defense steps up.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We got, I think it's between us and Pittsburgh, man. The 1 and 2, something like that, on total overall defense. But you guys keep saying Andy Reid. Andy Reid. That's everyone's pick. But my thing is the body of, well, they have one of the better teams. I'll give them that. But to me, that's players. They have so many dynamic players. The only reason I say Sean Payton because Sean Payton don't have the stars that the Chiefs have. And when Mike down Armstead, we didn't have Michael Thomas. Everyone ruled the Saints out. Oh man, oh. And then what do? We came in and swept Tampa Bay, swept Atlanta. We just got to sweep on the Panthers. We already beat them once. And that's why I was saying I was leaning more towards Sean Payton. The reason I say Stefanski was because Cleveland hasn't had a winning record in a while, man. For him to get those guys together and believe in themselves, then come out and play the way they're playing, to me, I'm like, wow.
In a shortened off season too.
Yeah.
Gotta remember that.
Yeah.
And they almost lost that game, but you gotta remember, they're still young. They're super young. They gotta learn how to win. And I can see them probably winning like another 2 games, and then it'll probably be a quick exit out of the playoffs. But it's a learning thing.
That was another thing. I heard several people on different shows say the same thing, K man. Everybody kept saying, you have to learn how to win. You have to learn how to win. I'm like, learn how to win. I'm like, man, winning is winning, right? Doesn't matter how it is.
I mean,
ugly.
It's cliche, but it's true.
It's true. Like look at pretty much every champion, not every champion, but like the Cowboys of the 90s had to learn how to win because they were, getting their butt whipped all the time, and then they started to win, but they, losing to Detroit, and then they lose to the then Washington Redskins. And then look at the 49ers in the early 80s. They had to learn how to win. Peyton Manning had to learn how to win. Pittsburgh, and they finally in 05 when they won, they had to learn. You got to learn how to, get over the hump.
Takes discipline.
And in the NBA, it's more like you see it. Detroit Pistons had to go through the East, and then the Lakers to learn how to win. The Chicago Bulls had to go through the Celtics and the Pistons, and then to learn how, you got to learn how to win. The Lakers of the early 2000s had to go through Utah to learn how to win. You have to. Look at LeBron. Yeah, he had to whine and get himself down to Miami, but that's because he kept getting his head knocked off in Cleveland. You got to learn how to win. Only Magic Johnson comes in and wins. He's the only one.
Yeah.
He's the only one steps off the bus after winning the college championship and goes, "Hey, I'm gonna win another NBA title. This is nothing to me."
Right.
Good segue, K man, because early this morning we were texting back and forth, man, about Paul George and premier basketball players from the LA area, all the West Coast, basically. I text y'all and say the majority of them come from like, the East Coast or down south. Then B Wig chimed in and said, yeah, the Midwest too. And I said, good point, good point. And then we started talking about media markets. And my thing is, and of course, Paul George got that. I don't know what kind of deal that was. He got that extension. When I saw that earlier, man. I had to look. I ain't sent it to y'all because I thought y'all already saw it. When I looked, I said, man, what? 5 years how much was it? 265 or something like that? 255 something?
Yeah, it's up there.
I said, man, I'm like, is this for real? So does it matter if you're from the East Coast down West? Does it matter what kind of market you in, or does it matter of the caliber player you are? Because you were saying that, like you were saying, PG's from LA, Kawhi's from LA, they aren't really that good. But K-Man, you brought up a good point about some of the people from the Oakland area that was pretty decent. But the majority of the players that are stars now come from the other side of the country. Is it because those markets are a little bit bigger or smaller?
Well, I just said I had this conversation with a friend of mine a long time ago, and I'm a Rockets fan, and that was just I came to the realization that we probably can't win because James Harden is from LA. And it's nothing. I have nothing against the city of Los Angeles. I just feel, and it's just I've just seen it more and more that players who are born and raised in LA can't be that lead person. And I have a list of some of the best players that come out of LA, and I'm gonna just put off a list. And, Gilbert Arenas, Tyson Chandler, Baron Davis, DeMar DeRozan, Klay Thompson, Paul Westhead, Dennis Johnson, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Paul Pierce, James Harden, Westbrook, and Reggie. The only person from that squad is Reggie. And that's Reggie's thing is mainly one is the era that he was born into because he's born into the 80s. And that was a tougher breed. And then two is in the family he was born into. Because Reggie was a great NBA player, but his sister was better than him. I still remember a story that goes that I think he was on a sophomore team like he made the varsity as a sophomore. And I think he hit like 40. So they're riding the car. He's all hype. He's in the back seat. Yeah, I got 40. And Cheryl's in the front. And he's like, hey, what'd you get, Cheryl? And she's like, I did okay. What'd you get, like 40? A little bit more. 60? A little bit more. 70? And she's looking at her father. I got 100. That right there makes you tough because your older sibling is so much better than you. But it seems like a lot of these players, it's the toughness factors. And I'm just saying LA, because that's different from Oakland. Them dudes at Oakland, they just another breed. Them dudes are just tough. Gary Payton, Jason Kidd, Dame Lillard, Bill Russell. They just a different breed.
K-Man, I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if y'all know the reason why Reggie Miller's jump shot is so ugly. Okay, man, he learned how to shoot. He had to shoot over his sister, and he had to get the ball high enough to over her stretched hand. That's why his shot is like that.
Does that explain his? Does that explain his teeth?
No, it's just bad dental.
That's just bad, man.
Yeah.
What you got, B?
Priorities.
Hey, Adam. Hey, I gotta put up that basketball hoop in the backyard. You get to the league and then you get your teeth fixed.
I mean, I kind of agree with Kennedy. Where you come from has a profound effect in everything that you do in life. Like, like everything, not just your profession, but every aspect of your life, like where you come from, how you brought up, like that has a profound effect. And I don't know how many fights Paul George ever got in, or how many how many gang members he's ever run into in LA or what have you, but this dude is supremely soft. Supremely. And there are people that are like quote unquote calling out haters, since he got his bag, since he got the 226.
Right.
And I don't understand, like, the only thing I can think of is that they're Clippers fans. But anybody that has watched this man's body of work, and I'm singling him out because he's the primary reason why we're on this topic.
I'm on it because of James Harden.
Well, yeah, but James Harden didn't wake up to $190 million extension this morning.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, man, look, they're getting the bag and the market they're in. So because they think that they're a good player, and trying to be from LA, he goes back to LA, which is a big market. He gets the bag. I know one of you guys said that you don't think he's built for that market.
Me.
So, and I had mentioned to you, B. I said, well, man, do you think the Charlotte Hornets should play in Raleigh-Durham? Is that a better market for that team? And you were like, no. And then you said something about Jordan messed all that up. But Jordan was a great player in a good market in Chicago.
Yeah, but
great market.
Around here, you have to be you gotta win championships. Like, you have to be a champion. Maybe not recently, but you have to have won something. College basketball, you got Duke and Carolina here. Hockey, you got the Carolina Hurricanes. They won one in what, 06? Doesn't matter how long ago to us. We got a champion here. So, and then you look at the Hornets. I mean, Charlotte's what, 2.5 hours, maybe from here, from the Raleigh-Durham area. That's technically our team. The Hornets are technically the home team, but they've done nothing.
Nothing.
Forever, they've done nothing. At least the Panthers went to a Super Bowl. 2. Mm-hmm. They went to 2 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so back to the Dame Lillard thing and the James Harden thing, PG thing. Like I said, does it depend on the market? And I know, K-Man, you said something that's wrong with the NBA. They're trying to market players. And what'd you say? What'd you text us, K-Man, earlier?
So the NBA's issue is always that what they've been doing since Bird and Magic came in is market players. So they market Bird and they market Magic, and that was to help them bring it up. And then they added Jordan on to it, and so that's been their modus operandi for 40 years. The problem is now you have this more player empowerment movement where players get drafted somewhere and they want to move somewhere else. And we talked about it a couple of weeks ago where they always want to move East Coast market and everything like that.
Okay, man, you had broke up on that. Say it again.
I said that most of these players, if they get drafted to a smaller market, they want to move over to a bigger market. So what the NBA's problem is, you've been marketing players for so long. Now, all you got them saying that I want to be in LA, I want to be in New York, I want to be in DC, I want to be in Chicago, I want to be in Miami. I want to be I want to be somewhere big, Detroit, big, but I don't want to be in Sacramento. I don't want to be in
Denver.
I don't want to be in
Phoenix.
Indiana. I don't want to be in those places. And then that hurts the franchise. Because how are you going to sell tickets to come see the Suns and nobody? Because Devin Booker wants to play in Madison Square Garden.
But we were talking about it earlier. wouldn't it be a big draw for these teams to get these players from like LA, DC, Chicago, put them in these markets so they can generate money? Because I know B. Wiggs said earlier, B, sometimes it doesn't always have to be about the money. I don't know, B. I had to disagree with you on that one because that's what generates people's interest. That's what kind of people want to see these players. Owners and agents know that. Doesn't matter where they came from. Could be from LA, could be
Right,
from
but
Houston.
but it's 30 teams and it's 30 markets. So, well, technically there's 28 markets, and it's just like, I mean, how many of the 28 are big time markets? What, half? That means
Right.
the
And
other 14 no one wants to go to.
right. But okay, so if you're a good enough player, you're a star, you're a superstar player, you're gonna get your bag wherever you go.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, you go to the Grizzlies, the Thunder. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how small the market is. If you're a great player, you're gonna get your bag. Where the market comes in is with money that you're gonna make outside of what you do on a nightly basis. Commercials, endorsements, all those different those are things that are heavily dependent on the market that you play in.
Yeah.
A superstar in OKC is not going to get that same type of endorsement as a guy playing in New York or LA or even Miami, because you got they when you're in a market like that, that means there's tons of people, and you're going to be in the face of all these people. You're at OKC, ain't nobody to market you to. There's nobody to market you to. So, just the point I'm making, the point I'm making is whether it doesn't matter where you go. If you're good enough, you're going to get paid. But if you want to do things, if you want to generate income outside of playing 82 games a year, then your market matters. The market that you play in matters.
And then also look internationally. They've been in China since Yao came in. They expanded to India.
Yeah.
They're in the UK. Does someone in China want to watch? No offense, Indiana Pacers versus I don't know.
Phoenix Suns, Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, something like that. Do they want to see that? No, they're gonna probably want to. Yeah, the Timberwolves. Does somebody in India want to watch the Memphis Grizzlies and I don't know, somebody, the OKC Thunder? No, they're not. They don't know. They want to see if the Lakers are going to play the Knicks, or if the Nets are going to play the Heat, or if the Dallas Mavericks are going to play the Houston Rockets. Because, and then also those are cities that those people probably want to come to. Those are the cities they know. They don't know Memphis like that. There's nothing wrong with Memphis. I want to visit Memphis.
Right.
But they don't know Memphis like that. They just know the big hub cities.
Right. And then once in a lifetime, and I'll let you go, Sean. Once in a lifetime, you'll get a LeBron that'll go to a crappy market and put that team on a showcase in front of the whole world.
That was the point I was going to bring up, man, with Paul George situation. Came out of LA. I forgot where he went to college, but he ended up going to Indiana, small market, put that team on his back. Everybody came out and said, oh, he's a superstar now. Then he knew he could get the bag, went back to LA, where he's from, got the bag. That sounds like an American story right there. Success story. You start out small, go to a small market, build yourself up, go to LA where everybody ball and get your money.
Hey man, kudos to PG.
Yeah,
he's about to get married. His life's getting ready to change forever, and he's about to be $190 million richer.
Who's his agent?
I don't know.
But then again, them taxes in California are high.
Oh yeah, look, that's why it's called a Golden State. Y'all.
Yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful rivalry. I commend him for the thievery that he did. And, because they had to pay him because they gave up so many picks to get him.
And then they couldn't afford to lose both him and Kawhi.
Yeah.
So you got to pay the man that you gave up the farm for.
Yeah.
Look, I got one more thing on NBA, man. Your boy James Harden holding out. Then he changed his teams where he wants to go, and then your boy Kyrie got to pull. He's gonna have to do the Marshawn Lynch, man. He's gonna have to.
I'm on here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, they fined him $25,000 for not talking to the media, and as you know, that's written into a lot of these players' contracts.
Yep.
After the game, they have to go. And didn't one of you guys say that Kawhi would wait on purpose? Him and Paul George would stay back on, so they wouldn't have to talk and have the other players go up there.
Yeah,
that's some wild stuff, man.
Kyrie's he's weird and sensitive.
He is like a typical millennial player. So he thinks he's better than what he is. You see how that he was with Boston the year before. Boston was really good. They get him, they start going down. He leaves, they're good again. He's a cancer.
I'll give you this. I'll ask you this. Okay, so these are two players. We're talking about them back to back. These are two players who are called superstars by the mainstream media. Which non-superstar is more of a superstar than the other non-superstar? Kyrie or PG?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a really good question.
He said, which superstar is a non-superstar?
Which superstar is more of a non-superstar than the other non-superstar? Or no, which non-superstar is more of a superstar than the non-superstar?
Yeah.
Kyrie is Paul George is more of a non-superstar than a superstar over Kyrie Irving. Because Kyrie had the commercial. He had a movie.
It was Uncle something.
Really good too, Uncle Drew.
Yeah. So and he a champion, and he has some nice. His shoes are nice.
And not only is he a champion, he hit one of the most clutch shots in all the championships.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll give it to him. I would give it to PG. He's vastly overrated and good at nothing.
Yeah, man,
great at excuses.
But look,
oh my God, he's king of that.
You guys brought up a good point, man. Then we can go to the picks because time. You guys brought up a good point. We was texting earlier in the week. Those two guys need somebody to run the team they on because they can't do it by themselves. They can't lead a team.
No.
They need strong leadership.
No. I mean, we go back to the James Harden issue. When Russ was there last year, I heard more players talk about Russ was a good leader. Chris Paul was the leader in those 2 years because James Harden doesn't want to lead. He's just a dude that likes to ball and go to the club. That's all he is. And second of all, you are 31 years old. Why are you in LA? I mean, why are you in Vegas? And why are you in Atlanta when you're supposed to be returning into showing up to camp? If you're gonna go to those clubs, wear a mask, dude. like you putting yourself and whoever you're around in danger because you stupid. And those are the things that look. He is one of the best Houston Rockets players I've ever seen, but he ain't in my top 5. You know, I never try to. I mean, I defend him, I guess, but I don't go out of my way. Like, I mean, like you say anything bad about Yao Ming or Hakeem Olajuwon, I'll put a knife to your throat. I ain't playing. but I'm not gonna do the same thing. You know, he's better than Tracy McGrady, but still, no. And
dog, man.
Also, his problem is no offense, is nothing. This is no offense to her. His mother's his agent. You are 2 years locked into a deal. You can't say you want to be traded and only give one team. Who are you? That's not going to work. You need And especially for a new GM and a new coach, you're not going to pressure him like that. And one more thing I would say to this: his behavior is bad. Is a bad look on this thing. I remember, and I didn't know this was a problem. I really wasn't paying attention. I didn't know this was a problem in NBA, but when they hired Raphael Stone and they hired Stephen Silas, they made a lot of people in the NBA outside of Houston made a big emphasis. Oh, we got a black GM, we got a black head coach, because I guess the black head coaches are dwindling and the black GMs are dwindling. So you pulling all this moves, you are making two black men look bad. That's not a good look. But this is the same dude who came in inside the bubble with the mask with the blue stripe. Yeah. Oh, it's a good look. Like he's just ignorant sometimes, just super ignorant sometimes.
It's a shame, it's a shame that we have a generational talent in this dude, a generational scorer in this dude, generational player, and yet we can't be all in on him because I mean,
Yeah, the off the court stuff, man.
And he doesn't, but he always seems to get in. Like I remember a couple years ago, he got in. There was a problem because he was in Phoenix, and I guess somebody was taking pictures, and either him or somebody slapped the phone out of the person's hand. Well, that's assault right there, and that's property damage. And it's just like, I mean, all right, cool. I understand that when you were in your 20s. You're like 31, dude. Like, why are you hanging out with? You got international deals with Adidas. Come on, you gotta grow up.
Maybe they can't. All right, man. I know. Let's do these picks right quick, man, because I know this game is already on, man.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the score, so I picked the Rams. Who you got, B?
I was gonna go with the Rams anyway.
Yeah. Who you got, K, man?
I guess the Rams. I don't know who's playing.
Yeah, the Rams and the Patriots.
Rams and the Patriots.
Yeah. Give me the Rams. Come on now.
And next week, I want to briefly touch on how awful Cam Newton has been this season.
What, dressing the scores?
I mean, that's historic.
Yeah, that too. But just he hasn't been Carson Wentz bad, but he's almost.
He can't throw. I mean, he always couldn't complete passes and read defenses, but this year has really exposed that he is shot physically. He can run and he can bulldoze himself over people. That's great. But you're not a running back. You're a quarterback.
What? All right. Don't get me started. All right, K, man. Who you got, Titans or the Jags, man?
Give me the Titans.
Yeah, that was a no-brainer there, man. Who you got, B?
Titans.
Yeah. Now, this game is interesting to me, man. B-Wig, Vikings at the Bucks. Who you got?
The Vikings. The Bucks don't impress me.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, man.
They're just there. I mean, they are what they are.
I think the Bucks might make the playoffs, but
yeah.
Who you got, K, man?
I got the Bucks only because they're gonna stop. They're gonna key on Dalvin Cook, daring Kirk Cousins to beat him, and I don't think Kirk Cousins can do it. Yes, Mike Zimmer has gotten that defense to play better, and they're gonna give old man Brady a look, but I think they just have enough to get it by.
But the Bucks secondary hasn't been that great this year, and you got Jefferson, Thielen, and Rudolph on the other side.
Yeah, that was my point, B.
But they got to get the ball from Kirk Cousins.
I don't know, man. I watched the Vikings. I see the Vikings.
Both ways. I could have gone both ways.
Dalvin Cook been running the ball really well, and like I say, they got those receivers, man. But we'll see. All right, K, man. This is a no-brainer. I should be a match, y'all. This from the Chiefs at the Dolphins. Man, you got to think about this.
Yeah, I do.
The Dolphins are
The
a good
Dolphins
squad,
play.
man.
The Dolphins play hard, and I'm gonna go with the Chiefs in a close.
This is sad. Who you got, B?
Tua.
You going with the Dolphins?
Yep.
There you go, B. You always pick these upsets once a week. All right, B. All right.
Got to. Gotta have it.
Hey, look, I had it last week to watch the football team. All right, B. Wig, Broncos at the Panthers.
Yeah. I picked the Broncos.
Ooh.
These are two play hard teams, and I just saw the Broncos almost, beat the Chiefs. So I'll go with the Broncos.
Again, I'm gonna take the Broncos. So who you got, K man?
I got the Panthers. Broncos only got 3 corners, dude. They only got 3 corners. They most of one tore the ACL. The other one has a foot issue. He's on IR. And AJ Boya was shooting up.
Yeah, but they only got to cover one receiver. I mean, you got 3 dudes to cover one receiver. Shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, no, give me the Panthers. And they're going across. They're going from the Mountain Time all the way to the East Coast. Give me the Panthers.
But look, what you call them not playing, man? McCaffrey's not playing. That's why I picked the Broncos. But all right, K man. Texans at the Bears. Don't do it. Don't do it, K man.
I'm gonna take the Texans.
I can say y'all thinking about these easy games, man.
Well, first of all, you got to remember the Texans got 2 more PED.
Will Fuller gone.
Yeah, and Roby is gone.
Oh snap!
Yeah, but I think they can run the ball against the Bears, and Deshaun Watson's really good. So this is going to be a very interesting game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
All the talk has been about, hey, Mitch, you're going to get Deshaun Watson. Hey, you were picked over him. Hey, he's great. You stink.
Hey, look, people been like this season. That conversation's been had a whole lot.
Yes.
Who you got, B?
Give me the Bears.
Here you go again.
The Texans don't have any weapons. They don't have any weapons. And as as inconsistent and overrated as the Bears can get sometimes, I mean they do have a little talent on defense. Just a little. And I think that'll be the difference.
In Khalil Mack hurt?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he's listed as questionable, but I think he's going to play though.
Yeah. Okay. That's why I said kind of. He'll probably play, but he probably
won't do
like 70%.
Yeah. All right, B. Cardinals at the emerging Giants.
I'll take the Cardinals.
Wow, man, really?
Yeah. I think the Cardinals are a better team than the Giants. Okay. The Giants are getting better. They're getting there, but the Cardinals are still a better team. And if I had to choose between Kyler Murray and Colt McCoy, give me Webster.
All right, okay, man, you got.
I got the Cardinals.
Hey, I'm the one to pick the Giants. All right.
Hey, what they did last week does not impress me. As I told you before, the Seattle Seahawks do this 3 times a year. I don't know why, but they do this 3 times a year.
Wow, man. All right.
This is why Russell Wilson, he will never get the MVP.
All right, K-Man. Cowboys at the Bengals, man.
Cowboys.
Yeah, that's who I picked too. They can't possibly mess this one up. Who you got, B?
Yeah, they can. Bengals. Give me the Bengals.
Oh, snap.
I don't know who the quarterback is. I don't care. Give me the Bengals.
Oh man. All right, B with Colts at the Raiders, man.
Colts.
Not after what the Raiders did last week, man. You're not gonna pick them?
No. The Raiders got that game handed to them. Give me a Colts.
Who you got, K, man?
Give me the Colts.
Everybody picking the Colts. All right. That's who I'm picking, man.
That's not a well-coached team.
Yeah. I think Gruden got to tighten some things up, but all right. K, man, Jets at the Seahawks.
Seahawks.
He said, no, you got to think about this one. All right, B, who you got?
Seahawks.
Dang, the Jets going to go 0-16, man. God, dog, that's messed up. All right, B, Packers at the Lions.
The Packers.
I don't know, man. I was scratching my head on this one. Who you got, K, man?
Packers.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with anyway. I don't know what's going on with the Lions, man. I know they fired their coach and everything, the GM. All right, K, man. Falcons at the Chargers. Don't do it.
Falcons.
You had to do it, did?
Yep.
All right, B, who you got?
I'll take the Falcons too.
What?
Yeah, the Chargers, they went from to over the course of the season. You know, they started out. I would put them. I put them in the same category as like the Panthers and the Broncos, like play hard teams. They don't even play hard anymore. I mean, they just look like they're ready to get the season over with.
And y'all call yourself my friend. Okay. Hey, I K, man, the football team at the 49ers.
Give me the 49ers.
Oh man. That's disappointing, K, man. All right, B, who you got?
49ers.
Oh, both of y'all. Didn't y'all grow up in this area?
Yes.
Yeah, so
I'm not a Wizards fan. What does that mean, sir? I don't understand these things. What are you implying? I don't understand.
All right, man. The Saints at the Eagles.
the Saints.
Yeah, I got the Saints too.
Yeah, I got the Saints too, man. But I'm waiting to see how this defense gonna handle a real mobile quarterback like Jalen Hurts.
Well, they see one every day in practice.
For real.
Oh yeah, true that. Good point. All right, K, man. Steelers at the Bills.
Give me the Bills.
That's what I'm going with, man. Who you got, B Wig?
The Bills.
Yeah, man. I don't know. We'll see if the Steelers come out playing mad, but we'll see. All right, B. Monday night game, man. Ravens at the Browns.
The Browns.
I don't know, man. Your boy Dookie looked like he was running that ball.
Against us.
Yeah, I know.
I remember B, you said we need linebackers.
A double amputee could get yards against us.
All right, K, man, who you got?
Yeah, give me the Browns. That Ravens defensive line is not good. Like Calais Campbell looked. Oh, I mean, I already know Dirk Whiff sucks because he played with the Broncos all the time. He was overrated, but they look. Oh, and 91. I mean, I know he's from PG County, And I know he's Nigerian, and I know I'm supposed to rep him, but can't. I just can't.
Hey,
He's like the Wale of football. Like, I can't do it.
Wale. Oh man. But look, that's a great point because I don't know if y'all remember, but earlier in the season I brought up the undrafted rookie that we were starting at right tackle, Terrence Steele.
Mhm.
Terrence Steele looked like an all pro Tuesday night against the Ravens defensive line. Now this is a dude that was a human turnstile for the better part of the games that he was starting. But he looked like an all pro on Tuesday night. That tells you all you need to know about how the Ravens defensive line is playing right now.
I can't argue that one, man, because I think they mentioned that during the game.
I mean, they in the offseason, they went out and spent a lot of money on the defensive line because they felt that, I guess, that you know against the Titans that hurt them. The problem is they spent a lot of money on old dudes.
I think
now December,
that was
and
like
they looking old.
I think that was like the coaching staff, man. Was that one of those guys?
Yeah. I mean, but that's on the personnel people, Eric DaCosta, who's the GM, just tell the coaches always want older dudes. They don't never see the value sometimes of younger guys. That's why they always pick the veteran. And then all of a sudden they bench him during the half. The people start calling out for play this guy. And then they finally do. And then they kill it. And everybody's like, why you didn't play him before? They always do that. That's just a coaching state. It's like a real, we talked about this before. Like, the 2004 Olympic team. They didn't play LeBron or Melo or Wade, but they were playing Stephon Marbury. So it's just,
wow!
It's like that's. It's just sometimes coaches, they don't have faith in younger players.
And I think that has to do some of the immaturity of a younger player, but yeah, you guys kind of hinted to it earlier when you were talking about what you call him going to the club. You're 31 years old. What are you doing? You expect that out of a younger player to do something like that, but
during a pandemic where you people are getting stuff off of not being social distance, and you talk and saliva comes, the saliva, anybody, it doesn't matter. You're not spitting on nobody, but it's just how people talk, and that's how the disease it gets airborne. And it's just like, and we know all this, and yet why would you jeopardize it? And you see some people are not bouncing back the way they are. Why would you jeopardize your money like that? To be in a club?
Yeah. And just like they were talking about, a lot of people over the Thanksgiving holidays went to go see family and travel. Even though they said don't do it, it's not safe. But my only rationale around that was like, well, hey, look, and this might be the wrong mentality, but it's not my mentality. I'm thinking the people did that was like, well, look, if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go see my mom one last time.
Right. All right, cool. Let's take your mom out. And that's why yesterday, we hit 3,000 deaths. More people died yesterday, December the 9th, than the people who died on 9/11.
I think today broke a record today, right?
Between 3 states. And, yeah. So now we're in, unfortunately, I don't like saying this, but it is true, and it's awful to say, but now we're having daily 9/11s with these totals of deaths. And it's
9/11 was like 2977, I think.
Right. Yesterday was 3,041.
It was 3,105 or 2 or something like that.
Yeah. So it's just
wow. All right, peoples. We'll go ahead and catch the rest of this game.
I had a couple of parting shots, just a couple of quick parting shots.
Go ahead.
One, Richard Sherman, shut up.
He can't.
He can't.
As much as I like him as a person, he's talking about it's going to take a miracle for him to end up back in San Francisco next year. Dude, nobody's going to want you. You're finished. You got 13 solo tackles, 1 pass defense, and 1 interception over the whole season. You're done. That's number 1. Number 2, big shout out to my man Brian Flores. He about that life.
Yeah, I heard what he said.
If you haven't seen what happened, I mean that was a mess of some officiating. But if you haven't seen what happened, pull it up on YouTube with the Bengals and the Dolphins. But yeah, that dude was he was ready to throw them hands on Sunday.
Yeah.
But you heard what he said, right? He said the players gonna stick up for the players. I'm gonna stick up for my players too.
Look, anybody that'll go that far to protect his squad, hey, he all right in my book.
I mean, and you saw how hard they played for him last year. You see how they playing this year, and then you see that, and just like, yeah, no wonder they winning.
Yeah, that was too bad. That dude tackled that guy twice, man, and I'm like, come on, man.
I mean, all he needed was the top rope. That's all it really needed.
Man, I was just thinking that, man, do like a suplex or something.
And you just need a JR. JR screaming, "Don't do it!" Oh my God, broken in half.
My God.
My God.
Man, look,
Stone Cold.
Look,
I'm sorry, I'm doing 90s now.
The football player, when he tackled the dude, I said, damn. I said, that's a pretty good form tackle. And I'm like, wait a minute, didn't the dude call fair catch?
Oh, man.
And the thing is, he did it twice.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, look.
How he didn't get thrown out.
But look, what did Jerry say about what you call him, Poppy? He said, I think he wants to get caught.
Right.
So he did it twice. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
You got part of the shot, Skate, man?
No, I really don't. The only part of the shot I got is like, college football is a absolute mess.
Yes.
It is a absolute mess. Like, I've stated before that none of these championships in these this year means anything to me. None of them. It's just they're just a blur. But like, just canceling games left and right.
I know, right?
Rivalry games are just, and it's just like, how do you determine who gets into the playoffs? And
look, you know, everyone's making a big deal about that because of Ohio State, and you know it's bad when they canceled the Ohio State Michigan game that's been played for over 100 years.
Yes. Yep. Right, the biggest rivalry game in all of college football, and it's just like, okay, and it's just, and then I heard something the other day. They talked about how, like, the SEC got all these teams in the top 10, but do they deserve it? I'm like, I'm not even paying attention.
I don't think they do, to be honest with you, man. Like Texas A&M, Florida. I'm like, I don't know. But here's another thing, K-Man. This was my rationale around they're not really canceling too many. They cancel a bunch of college football games, but the marquee ones with one team that's always playing, I don't think it's been canceled too much. Y'all know what team that is. It's America's college football. Notre Dame. They're ranked number 2 this year.
Yeah, but they're going to, probably the same thing they do at normal times when they get in the playoffs. They lose. But it's just a weird year. It's really, I don't know. Honestly, I feel sorry for NFL evaluators because they got to give these sheets to these GMs to evaluate something.
But K-Man, it's bad for college, man, because like during the summer, the majority of some of these smaller colleges that depend on, that football money and that money coming in from boosters and people coming to the stadium spending money, several colleges have just gotten rid of other programs, lacrosse, water polo. They just wiped those out. A couple of track teams gone. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, the money is, that football generating money is that important to these universities.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow, man. All right, people.
All right, man.
Look. Until tomorrow, I'm pretty sure we're gonna text something.
Yeah, because I'm getting
Yep.
ready to I'm ready to light in the cam again. He's doing fix it.
Oh, he did.
Yep.
Oh, well,
Not that I'm surprised.
but
Hey man, somebody got to find Alfred Water the game, man. I know it's out there somewhere. Stop being prolific with it, man. Come on now, y'all got to give him credit, man.
no, I don't.
I would look. I would love to go in Cam's closet and see. Just like, hold up, man. Let me just look through your closet, and I want to ask him, how do you put your outfits together, man?
Well, I want to ask him.
No, go ahead, Kenny.
No, I want to ask him. How can you justify wearing this stuff and lose? I mean, and play terrible. Like that's what. Like you literally just come out looking like I don't know, Andre 3000 on steroids. But you're not giving me no hey eyes. You just give me a bunch of.
He looked like the mountain climber from the Price is Right game when he came out with that little game going up the hill.
Yeah. Hey, look. You were saying you want to go in this closet and see. Look, whenever you do go into his closet, look, tell him to get out. Tell him to come out.
All right, and
All right,
good night, America.